Good morning, beautiful souls. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I am Christine, and this is the Blindpomegranatetarot. If you're new here, hi. I'm so glad you came. It's very nice to meet you. And if you're not new here, how you been? How's it going? I'm so glad you guys come back every single week. I love doing this for you. I enjoy it so much, and I feel blessed that you guys let me do it for you. So what are we doing today? Well, I found these cards, okay? And they're not oracle cards, and they're not tarot cards. They're called Rethink, and it's like a party favor type thing. And it's where you can ask questions to sort of get to know each other type of thing. And I thought, you know what? That would be so cool for pick a card. So that's what I did. So today's is a pick a question. And what this is supposed to do for you, okay, what I'm hoping it will do for you, is that it will help you get closer in touch with your higher self. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a question, then you're going to think of the answer in your mind, and then I'm going to do a tarot pull for you and see if your higher self and your 3D self match up. Now, when I say higher self, I'm going to put a link down below as to what higher self is and how that's defined. But briefly, what that is that is the part of you that's in your soul, that long time, been around for a long time being of yours, knows everything that you need, knows everything that you need to know. And the closer we become in touch with that higher self, the greater our experience in this life becomes. Think of it this way. Have you ever had somebody say, use your common sense? What is your common sense telling you? Well, that's your intuition. Common sense is intuition. Your intuition comes from your higher self. Okay? So this can be applied not just in your spiritual growth, but this can be applied in your everyday. You know, do I like that person? Is that somebody that's good for me? Should I move to that place? Should I take that job? That's your common sense or your intuition or your higher self telling you this is what you should do. And the closer we become in connection with our higher self, the greater abundance we have in this lifetime. So that is the goal today. It sounds very lofty, doesn't it? But let's just see. Let's practice at it. I love to do that. That's what we do here on this channel in our spiritual brews. We practice our intuition so that you can grow your soul. And that's always my goal here, is to help you become more in touch with who you really are. And therefore, grow yourself, grow your soul in this particular human experience. Okay? That's why I love doing past life readings. But let's start. We have 4 questions here. Let's start with question number 1, shall we? I'm going to hold that right there so that you can screenshot it if you'd like to, or you can sit and look at it. You want to pause it for you? But question number 1 is, what is the best advice you've ever received? Like that one. Now I didn't pick these. I did like a normal tarot draw, okay? So these are the cards that came out. So these are clearly the ones that they want to talk to you about, okay? And here's number 2. This would be pile number 2. And I'll read that one to you. And it says, name an area of your life where you would like to practice being more open-minded. So name an area of your life that you would like to practice being more open-minded. I really love that question. I think that's a good one. I think we can all relate to that one. And here's number 3. I hope you can see that. And what it says here is, how do you show people you care about them? How do you show people you care about them? That one's pretty cool. And then number 4. And I'll read this one to you as well. I hope you can see that clearly. And number 4 says, describe a situation where things turned out for the better as a result of you letting go of control. So describe a situation in which you let go of control and things turned out better than you thought they would. I love that. So these are all very different questions. They're very unique questions. I think they're a great way for us to kind of get to know each other, but moreover, for you to get to know you and you to get closer in touch with your higher self, right? Your intuition or your common sense. However this is going to relate to your life. Now, this may be advice that comes out for you guys. I never know. Sometimes I'm doing this and I'm like, what? It's completely different than I thought it was going to be. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the answers are here. So what I always ask you every single week is to sit back and do a very, very quick little meditation with me. It'll take just a second so you can sit back into your intuition and pick just the right pile. So what we do is we take a deep breath in through our nose for 5, we hold it for 2, and push it out our mouths real fast for 3. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring in new energy and push out the old. What I ask you to do is put your feet flat on the floor, put your hands in your lap with your palms up so that you are rooted to the earth and open to the universe. So we'll go ahead and start that now. Okay, you can do that as many times as you need to, however that works for you. Or you can try this. Down below in the description box, there will be timestamps for each one of these piles. Maybe there's a number in there that resonates for you. 1, 2, 3, or 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and run that through your mind and see which one pops out. Or if you can see auras, maybe you see an aura on one of these cards. Or maybe you can see them vibrating, almost like they're breathing. Maybe that helps you. Or maybe just the question is something you've been wondering for yourself. So give that a try. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm so glad you guys joined me for this one. I think this is very interesting, and hopefully we can do these cards again in the future so we can get to know each other and get to know ourselves. I think that's beautiful. And I'll see you guys at the reading. Bye. Hello, Group 1. Welcome to your reading. I love this. This is why I do this. This is just as cool as it gets. Okay, let me explain. Oh, well, let me start from the beginning. I'm so excited. So, for those of you who are new here, I am legally blind, visually impaired, and so I read a little bit differently. I lay out all the cards and I run through them so that those who are my friends who are also visually impaired or blind can hear it and participate equally as those who can see it. Okay? So everything is already laid out. As well, I like to lay them out so that I can meditate on them before I do my readings. I always do a download meditation, and by doing this, I can pull that information out from my subconscious and give you just the right information. Okay? So, business out of the way. Let's get to it. Remember that your question is, what is the best advice you ever received? And I love this. So, you have, for your first tarot card, you see that? It is the King of Swords. And then you have the Knight of Swords. Oh, excuse me, the Knight of Coins. So what's the Knight of Coins? Okay. From your third tarot card, you have the World. Gosh, I just love this. Ah, my goodness. And then your last tarot card you got was Strength. So you have 2 major arcana here, which is very cool. And then we'll move down here, and from the Moonology card, you got the energies are gaining momentum. That. Then you got, from the archetypal deck, you got the Comic. And then you got, from the Wisdom deck, and I'm going to read this to you, okay? You got the Queen of Light. Now this one, celebration is the word here that really stood out for me. Okay, and then from the Archangel deck you got Nanel, and Nanel says, and this just kills me. Okay, this says spiritual communication inspires meditation, knowledge of abstract sciences and philosophy, interests in spiritual life and teachings. I'm going to hold that right there for you so that you can screenshot that if you'd like to. That is very cool. So I think Nanel is the archangel that maybe you should go to when you meditate. That would be excellent. I think that's what your higher self is trying to tell you. But so you have a lot here about communication. And of course, we're asking what's the best advice you ever got. This is very cool. The swords are always about communication, okay? And the fact that you start with the King of Swords, that really sort of rolls us into everything else. The coins, Knight of Coins, leading to the world and strength. I think that the advice that you got, tell me, has anyone ever said to you, "Gosh, you're so clever, you should do stand-up," or "You're so clever, you should take the knowledge that you have, and because you are so inspiring, you should go out there and lecture and do that for a living. That is something you should be doing. You're a very clever person, and you have a lot of information to share. You should be out there spreading the word of what you know." I think that you take this advice, that you took this advice and you've taken it to heart, and that you put it into your life, and you have a plan for it. But what your higher self is telling you is that advice was sent to you by me, okay, me, your higher self, for a reason. This is something that you need to focus on. You need to celebrate. You need to celebrate who you are. I think that's very cool. Now, Nell can help you if you need to. And when you're meditating, you're obviously a spiritual person, but you're also sort of a scientific person, and that you combine those two things. I think that's really cool. And what your higher self is telling you is that, you know, this is gaining momentum. This is something you've been working towards for a long time, or you've sat and sort of ruminated on this advice for a very long time. And now is the time to sort of gather it up and really run with it. Celebrate that ability that you have to do that, that you're funny, for sure. You have the ability to sort of bring people into your circle, and they'll listen with intention. You know, they'll sit there very intent, like, and oh my goodness, I really like this. Maybe your advice is that of inspiration. Maybe you were meant to inspire people, and that you do that. And the advice that you received was, you need to share your gift. You need to get out there and share this gift of speech that you have, right? And that this is probably your life's path, because we have, of course, the Knight of Coins, and that it's all going to come full circle, and that this is a strength of yours. This is something that you can do unique unto you and only you, and that you should take whatever it is that resonates for you, whether it's a spiritual teacher, whether it's comedy, whether it's poetry, or however you choose to speak your truth. Your higher self is telling you, yes, that advice was put in front of you for a reason. Take it, run with it, use it. It is absolutely you and who you are. This is very cool. I love how that, you know, this is all so much about communication, and using your skills to do that with, and using those skills that of wit. You're very much a wit, that you are able to bring people into your circle, and they'll stop and listen to what you have to say. That's very cool. And I think that somebody along the way dropped a bug in your ear and said, this is what you should be doing for a living. This is who you are. People will listen to you. People will love to listen to your teachings. People will love to listen to your comedy. People would love to listen to your stories. Maybe you're a storyteller. But with the King of Swords, you are absolutely someone who dominates conversations in a good way, okay, in a very good way, and people listen, and that you are someone who can in turn inspire others with your advice. So it's not just about you receiving advice, it's about you giving advice as well. I think that's awesome. I think that this is a very cool layout, and that this came out together so clearly, that either you have received advice that is going to guide you to give others advice, or that advice has inspired you to become what your higher self has always wanted you to be. Your higher self, that gift, that this soul that you're putting in this 3D body, right, and this life experience, that this is what your higher self is saying. Hey, I told you this for a reason. Get out there and make it happen. Changes are coming. I think that you've already begun to listen to that advice and work towards it. You can see it in the process here. And that if you do meditate, I hope that you do. I really encourage people to do it. That Nanel may be the angel that you can talk to and get inspiration from during your meditations, because Nanel inspires meditation as well, and that will help you to maybe even write your speeches, right? That you can get some downloads that way through your meditation for speeches or ideas of how to implement what it is that is special about you. I think this is incredible, and I am so glad I got to do this for you, because I love these cards. I'm going to do these kinds of readings again, because I think that this is an incredible way to understand yourself better, know yourself better, and be encouraged by yourself. It was beautiful. Sorry if I was speaking really quickly, but the inspiration was flowing out of me, and I think it flows out of you as well. That's just incredible. And I think that this is definitely the job for you. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Bless you guys. I hope I get to see you next time. Bye. Hello, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. How are you guys today? I'm so excited to do this for you because the first one was really cool. This one is really cool. I love this is why I do this. So let me explain. I am legally blind, visually impaired, so I read a little bit differently. I lay out all the cards and then I run through them so that those who cannot see it, like some of my friends, can hear it and participate equally. Okay. It also gives me an opportunity to sit with the cards, meditate a little bit, and hear what Spirit is telling me about each card and the group as a whole. So let's start with the card that you chose, okay? And the card that, let me move these out of the way. There we go. And the one that you chose was, okay, name an area of your life where you would like to practice being more open-minded. Okay. Remember, we're talking to your higher self here. What advice? And let's see if they match up, shall we? Okay. So the first card that you got two major arcana, is very interesting, and this one is the Chariot. The second one you got was the Empress. Beautiful cards. I love these cards. Okay, and then you got, for your third tarot, the Devil. Don't panic, that's not the actual devil, okay? For those of you who are new to tarot. And then you got the Ten of Pentacles. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I'll get to all of this in just a minute. And then the Moonology card that you got was Luck is on your side. New Moon in Sagittarius. Then from the archetype cards, you got the Orphan. I'm sorry, almost forgot. You got the Orphan. Okay. And then from the Wisdom deck, you got the Prison Waif. And I'll read it to you. It says, self-sabotage, poverty, and consciousness. And then, from your Angel Oracle card, or for your Angel Oracle card, you got the Archangel, and I'm going to butcher this, so bear with me. Nelkael. We'll just go with that. Let me read it to you, okay? It says, facilitates learning, loves studying, successful in exams, omnipresence, omniscience, ability to go from the concrete to the abstract, realities to ideas. I'm going to hold that right there, and you guys can screenshot that if you'd like, so you can read the whole thing. We won't take that much time. Okay, so your card says, what part of your life can you be more open-minded about? And I think that this is your higher self telling you that you have limiting beliefs. You have limiting beliefs about who you are. You have limiting beliefs about who you can be. But moreover, this is really telling me about you going back to school. You learning something new. You teaching yourself something new. That new and your ability to learn is not something that you lack. You have that idea that you can't do it. You have that notion that you can't do it. You have that limiting belief that you can't do it. It's something you need to be more open-minded about, because your higher self is very clearly telling me you need to go for it. You have the strength, you have the ability, you have the knowledge, you have the common sense, okay, the intuition. You have this ability. You have this limiting belief that you are on your own and you're all by yourself and you can't do anything because you don't have the support that you need. And that's not true, because you have the support of your higher self. You have the support of you. And so what you're being closed-minded about here is about yourself and about your abilities and about the things you can accomplish, about the things you can do. That you need to be more open-minded about that. You need to be more accepting of the fact that you absolutely can do this. You can up-level your life. You 100% can do that because your higher self is telling you here very much that you are closed-minded about yourself. But why? Maybe in the past you haven't had the support system behind you. Maybe you didn't have a family that backed you up, that told you you could do all these things. In fact, maybe you had a family that told you you couldn't. But your higher self has always known the truth. You absolutely can, 100%. Your higher self believes in you because you deserve that. It's wonderful. So, what does it want you to do? What do they want you to do? What is your higher self telling you? If you've been thinking about going back to school, do it. You have the ability, you have the capability. Get on that chariot and ride off into the sunset and make that life for yourself that everyone told you you couldn't. You absolutely can because your higher self believes in you, knows you can do it, knows you have the capabilities to do all of these things. I see very strongly here, there has to be a large portion of you guys watching this particular pile that you have been thinking about for a very long time of going back to school and learning something new and starting a new career and building a new life for yourself. And however that looks to you, it could be trade, it could be a doctor, it could be whatever it is, your higher self is telling you here, stop having those limiting beliefs. Stop having those limiting beliefs about yourself. You are capable of this irregardless of what anyone else has ever told you. Okay? Because you are the only one that matters. You are the only one who knows you. And your higher self is trying to talk to you so hard. Your higher self is trying to tell you so much. You are so much more than you think you are. Do not have these limiting beliefs. I don't care what anybody else has ever told you. I don't care if they've told you you're not good enough. I don't care if they weren't there to support you. I don't care about any of that. I know this is your higher self. I know you can do these things. I know you can be this 10 of Pentacles. I know it's going to be a struggle for you. I know it has been a struggle for you, but you absolutely can get past that and be successful at it. And that going back to school, I really believe that, I feel that very, very strongly, that you had limiting beliefs about you being able to be more than you are, and it's just not true. Your higher self wants you to stop judging yourself and that part of you that you have been told in the past you can't be, because I know you can. Your higher self knows you can, and it's so clear here that you can. So be brave. Go out there, get on that chariot, ride off into the sunset, and show them they're wrong, and stop having those beliefs about yourself. Be more open-minded that you are the Empress, that you know that you have the common sense to be that super student of anything you put your mind to, right? Of anything you choose to learn. You may be in a job right now that you think, oh, I'd like to have a higher position, but I'm going to need this education or that, and I just can't do it because I don't have the support system. It doesn't matter. You do. You will always have the support system when you have your higher self on your side. That's what that's what they are trying to tell you. That is what your higher self is telling you right now. Be brave. You can do it. You were put here for a reason. This is your reason, right? This is your lesson in this lifetime. To have a greater understanding of yourself and be more open-minded when it comes to you. That's the most important part. That's what your higher self wants you to know. I think it's beautiful. And sometimes we kind of all need to hear that, don't we? I think so. Well, this was lovely. I hope that that helped you. I hope that you go out there, run out there, and grab life by the reins. And do what your higher self knows you can do. Make yourself into what your higher self knows you can, and don't be afraid. Just do it. You'll be amazed by the outcome. I know it. I'm sure of it. Okay. I love doing this for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I get to see you next time. Bye, guys. Hello, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. How are you today? Thank you for joining me. So let me explain for those of you who are new here. I am legally blind, visually impaired, and I have friends that are as well. So what I will do is lay out the cards, for two reasons. One, so that I can run through them all so that those who cannot see can hear them and participate equally. And two, it gives me a moment to sit and meditate on the cards and pull from my meditation download just the right information for you. Okay? So, having said that, let's jump into it, shall we? So, the card that you chose, remember we are talking to our higher selves, right? And the card that you chose says, how do you show people you care about them? How do you show people you care about them? Okay. So the very first tarot card you got, sorry about that, I hope it wasn't too loud. The very first card that you got is the Four of Cups. The Four of Coins, excuse me. The Four of Coins. And then the next tarot card that you got is the Five of Cups. And then you got, in the tarot, you got the Knight of Cups. And then finally in the tarot, you got the Page of Wands. Very young energy. But I'll move on. We'll get back to that. Okay. And from the Moonology deck, you got a new start is coming. Again, new and young. And then you got the One. And this is from the Archetypal deck. And then from the Wisdom deck, you received, and I will read it to you, the Sacred Union, Partnership and Romance. Okay, and then finally from the the Angel deck, the Archangel deck, you got Ariel. And I'll read a little bit of it to you because it's quite long, but I'll let you look at it and screenshot it if you'd like. It says, revelatory perception, psychic ability, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, discovery of hidden treasures. I'll let you sit with that for a second. Okay. So, my dear friends, remember we're asking how you show people affection. And the very first thing that I received from this is that you hold back. That when you do show affection, it's rare, it's quick, it's in small bites, okay? But I also understood that that's because you're very much empathic. As the card here says, you're clairvoyant as well. But I think that you're very much an empath and that you hold back your emotions for fear of feeling others' rejections or even others' very strong feelings towards you, that this is something you sort of hide from. So when it comes to you sharing affection with other people, it's something that you dole out very lightly and only here and there. Okay, and I think that maybe you have had some issues in personal relationships, especially romantic relationships, because you hold back. I think that you're very much the one. You're very much in tune. The one card here is the all, everything, the universe, the whole. And I think that it is natural for you to hold back your feelings. It is natural for you to hold back your affections. It is natural for you to hold back your emotions, because emotions can be very painful for someone who is an empath. I understand this fully. And so what your higher self is telling you is you need to let go of that a little bit. You don't constantly need to be holding back. It's not going to hurt as much as you think it might. And because over time you have become so used to sort of hermit-like affection towards other people, that this has become the norm for you. And what your higher self is telling you is that you need to let go of that a bit. Loosen those reins a little bit. I fully understand what it is to be an empath and feel everybody else's emotions. And it can cause you to close in. It absolutely can. It can cause you to close in and hold back your emotions and keep them to yourself, regardless of what you're feeling or how much love and affection that you're feeling for somebody else. Because the pain of being able to feel their reaction has once or twice stung you, has once or twice hurt you, or more than that. And so as a defense mechanism, you hold back and you come in once in a while and you drop ship that love to somebody very quickly, and those emotions, and you show them that you care in little ways here and there, and you drop them a little bit by little bit. And that may have caused you some issues in your past love relationships. Definitely with your partnerships, could just be friendships as well. But this is what your higher self is telling you, is you gotta let go a little bit. You need to share that cup a little bit more. You need to share those emotions a bit more. Come in and give, not just quickly and once here and there, once in a while, but open up more, because that's going to feed your own soul when you can release those things. I fully understand and fully feel who you are here, okay? I understand this emotion of holding back because it feels safer. It's less painful. I understand that. But I think that if someone was to meet, or someone who knows you would describe you as somebody who's not overly affectionate, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, because when you share your emotions, they're true and they're real, okay? And so in many ways you're appreciated that way, so that when you do share your emotions with somebody, they're like, they believe you, right? They know you, they trust that emotion, that love or that compassion or is something that is true and real, and they don't ever question that about you. But it is something that you hold back too much, and your higher self really wants you to, in order to benefit you as well, to open up more, share more, because clearly you are in touch with source, okay? Clearly you have that ability, that psychic ability of knowing, of knowledge. And there may be some of you here, okay, I just heard this very clearly. There are some of you here that use your psychic abilities, use your clairvoyant abilities, use your empathic abilities as a form of showing affection to others. You may say, oh, I heard this, I got this message about you, and that's the way you kind of drop ship your emotions to them. But otherwise, you keep your bag of emotions tightly shut, and that string tightly knotted up. And what your higher self is telling you is, let it go a little bit more, go little bit by little bit if that's what it takes. But that you're holding back too much, and it's not helping you either. It's not helping you to find that person in your life that is going to be the exact match to your energies. It's going to be the exact match to your abilities even, okay? That you'll have a spiritual connection as well. Because imagine that exact person that's right for you is doing this exact same thing, okay? And you're both doing this, you're never going to find each other, right? So if there are any of you in this pile who are saying, well, I get this a lot, that I'm not affectionate enough, or that I'm not overly emotional, or I don't pour out my emotions enough, or I don't offer my emotions up enough to other people, that if this is something that you've been told before, your higher self is telling you it's time to change that. Because if you want to find the person that matches your energy, okay, you're going to have to do the same, and so are they. And Spirit will bring them to you. They will. But offer this cup up more freely, okay? Offer it up. Oh, even if it feels like maybe it might be painful sometimes, that you need to do that for the growth of your own spirit, for your own soul. And that's what you want for you. I want that for you too. I think that there are a lot of us who are empaths or clairvoyants or psychic or medium that understand this fully, and so that this is something that we all need to hear, I think, if we have these abilities. But for you in particular, if you were drawn to this, and this is very interesting, because when I pulled this pile, but this is pile 3, when I pulled this, something very unique happened, and I knew that while I was doing the shuffle, and actually on Sunday I will upload the shuffle of this reading, and you can watch it then. But as I got to the Moonology card, I felt the spirit come very, very close to me on my left side, and then there was a pounding on my desk, and I was like, oh, what was that? Where did that come from? So I knew right away that this was significant, this particular pile. And there usually is one in every reading that I do, and you guys are definitely the ones. So, open up, my friends. Open up some more, and a new start is coming. A new start is coming. So if you do all of this, and you let go, and you listen to your higher self, a new start is coming. And I think it's time for you to do that. I think it's time for you to be more open, more loving, give more openly. I definitely see that you pull back, and I understand that. I absolutely do. But your higher self is telling you it's time to stop. Well, that was lovely, and I think actually that might even have been a message I needed to hear too. So sometimes they resonate with me as well. I hope that helped. I hope that helped you very much. And I hope I get to see you again next time. Love and light. Bye, guys. Hello, group 4. Welcome to your reading. How are you today? So, let me explain. I read a little differently than most because I am visually impaired, legally blind, and I have friends that are as well. So, for 2 different reasons, I have all the cards laid out here. First, I like to run through all of the cards so that all of those who cannot see the cards can hear it and participate as well. And 2, it gives me a moment to sit with the cards and meditate on the information that I received from my download meditation before I pulled the cards. So, having said that, let's get started. The card that you chose was, describe a situation where things turned out for the better as a result of you letting go of control. Okay. Your first tarot card is the 4 of Wands. Your second tarot card is the Queen of Swords. Your third tarot card, it's a beautiful card, is the Sun, probably one of my favorite cards in the whole, all of the decks. And then the final tarot card you got is the 5 of Swords. Okay, moving on. Next we have from the Moonology deck, you have the card that says, conclusions are within reach. From the Archetypal deck, you got Agape. I will explain that one to you in detail in just a moment. And from the Wisdom deck, okay, you got the Winged Wise Ones, and I'll read it to you. It says, angelic help and miraculous aid. Okay, and your final card is from the from the Archangel deck, and I'm going to butcher the name of this angel. I do this every time. Bahalala, I think is how it's said, but I will read it to you. Deliverance, transcendence of sexuality, pure intimacy, divine sexual fusion in the couple. Okay, so fidelity, awakening of the kundalini, of one's vital energies. I'm going to hold that right there for you if you'd like to screenshot that so you can read the whole thing. Okay, so while I was meditating on this, I got that this is for a very specific group of people, okay? So if this does not resonate with you whatsoever, then you need to click away because this pile was not right for you. So go back to the beginning and maybe meditate on it on a different pile. But if this resonates for you, my dear, this is a message for you, very clear, okay? And I've never had one like this before, so bear with me, okay? The very first thing, well, how do I even begin? This is about you being forced to surrender to who you truly are, okay? Not just you choosing to surrender your control of who you were representing, okay? Who you were representing yourself as. But you were forced by someone else to step outside of this world that you had created and own up to who you truly are, okay? And this, my friends, okay, I am speaking directly to my LGBTQ community, okay? Ooh, it makes me want to cry. Hang on. I want you to know that, I'm so sorry, hang on. I don't usually cry during my readings, I'm sorry. But I want you guys to know how much I love the LGBTQ community, okay? I have someone very, very dear in my life who is gay. And so I understand this, I understand this pain, okay? But I think that when someone represented who you truly are without your permission, that you had spent a great deal of time sort of hiding who you really were, that you sat back and said, that comes from here, this agape card, and it also comes with your archangel card here, that you sat back and said, you know, when I see the Four of Wands here, this can represent twin flames, but for me, this is the two sides of you, and you finally coming together in who you are, even if you were forced into it. That when it happened, you decided, you know what, I'm going to surrender to it. I'm going to surrender to it, and whatever happens, happens. I've spent so long trying to hide from it. I'm just going to go ahead and surrender and let the angels and let my spirits and let guides and let everyone that I know is on my spirit team stand behind me and support me in this. And you just let go. You surrendered to it. You gave into it. That's Five of Swords is about bullying. It's about being beaten down. It's about being having such a difficult, horrific time. This is one of the cards in the tarot that is most about you just being destroyed almost. And the agape card talks about that as well. And so for me, what I'm seeing here is that you spent so much time trying to hide who you were, that when finally the sun was brought out and the light was brought out on who you were, even if it was outside of your own choice, you decided to surrender to it and let it happen. And when you came out the other side, just glowing, knowing now who you are, understanding who you are, maybe struggling still a little bit here and there, but even if you felt forced into this, okay, it was inevitably from this, your surrender to it, that has brought you into the sun, that has brought you into the light of love and knowing who you truly are and glowing in that light. I see that this is something, maybe there's a little bit of ache still left there, but I think that you have really come out the other side and just been shocked by what a relief it was to you in every aspect, and how much your life has grown because of that. How your love relationships have flourished, how your strength and your own sexuality and who you are has flourished now. Even if it was done to you through someone who was being cruel to you at the time, it brought it out into the sunlight and you glowed up from it. This is a recognition from your higher self of who you are. Conclusions are within reach. I think that this had always been something that you could have done for yourself, but you were afraid of it. And so when you were forced into it, okay, and you had to release control over it, you didn't have a choice anymore, that you finally became this beautiful being that you are now, open and free and speaking your truth and living your truth and enjoying the life that you are meant to live, and living it out in the open and in the sun and feeling the warmth of the sun on you. This may have, again, if this is not resonating for you, this is not for you. This is absolutely specific to you. It's just a very few people I can tell that. But it is a very important message, otherwise I wouldn't have received it. That this is how you let go. This is how you surrendered. Agape says, When you surrender to a higher being, whether it be your angels, and there's a lot about angels here, or the universe, or your guides, or whoever, and you said, I'm just going to give up, I'm going to let it out and see what happens, and I'm just going to be me, and that's just how it is, and it turned out wonderful for you, that's for sure. And that your higher self knew this was coming. Your higher self may even have had this plan for you. Your guides, your angels had this planned for you. It may have been very, very painful for you, but it's something that you always needed to do. And you surrendered to it. You really surrendered to it. You said that, well, that's it. I'm going to give in to this. And I'm going to let God or the goddess or my angels or source or however you associate take over from here. And I'm just going to let God be my guide. I'm going to let my higher being be my guide, my spirit be my guide in who I am and how I'm going to live the rest of my life so that I can do it freely. That is clearly what happened here. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry I cried. I've never done that before. And I cried a lot, I'm sorry. But my heart beats for you, aches for you, and is happy for you. So happy for you. That you can be who you truly are. That you surrender to that and you let go of control. And you let your higher self take over. That's beautiful. Gosh. Wow. Thank you so much for letting me do that for you. It really makes my heart happy. That you're free to be who you are and who you want to be. Well, I hope I get to see you guys next time. I promise I won't cry. Well, okay, can't make that promise, but I'll try not to. Love and light, my beautiful friends. Bye-bye.